I'm Peter. I'm from ESMA. Two of my members, Robin Macmillan and Thomas Putz, will join during the presentation. Today we will talk a bit about, as you can see here, the latest trends on applications in industrial printing. Definitely a lot of people are looking towards the new trends in printing in general. And we will try to highlight today a little bit how far you can go if you really think industrial. First of all, I have a number of topics. We won't stretch it too much. I introduce you quickly on the ESMA topic. ESMA is an association and you should know more about it, definitely. Then something on what's industrial printing definition, the global trends in printing, the power of screen printing, for example, industrial applications supported by screen printing, and then we move to the future of printing. Then we go and look more to the digital side, and the digital side, how they go industrial, and then closing on some numbers to give you a real idea about where it all goes in the future. So, ESMA is an association started now 25 years ago in 1990. Meanwhile, we evolved a lot. We have now a digital division. We work with FESPA and other exhibitions. We are exploring really the world of industrial, functional and specialty print. This is due to that we come from a background of screen printing, and screen printing has been pushing the barriers of printing in the past to make sure they have still good business with screen printing. As you can see also we do special, we have over 60 members, 65 members in different niches of the markets. Of course, much related to industrial areas. And also we do a lot in the direction of printed electronics, but that I will explain you later on. How do we actually work and what do we do behind the screens with our members is like promoting, first of all, this industrial printing in the different print technologies. And this we also do through conferences, workshops, and so on. We also have an expert team that can give consultancy advice. We have meetings, dinner meetings, committee work. What we also do very special is we involve members and non-members in funded projects from the European Commission to do research in the printing field. This is always, let's say, the future technology for applications, and it's funded by the taxpayers from the European community. We have 3 working committees, one on health and safety, one on technical exchange, which is more like the conference areas, and marketing and promotion for our association. Latest project, for example, is Polyot. Polyot is a project where we did OLED printing onto textile. In your brochure you will find something more on a masterclass, but that's really again one of these new directions we are exploring. So a quick overview of some of the members, but important to know is that 2 members in the next 2 days, AGFA and EFI, will do the same lunch and learn actually in the at 1 o'clock on Tuesday and Wednesday. Also talking about their experience and their view on industrial printing. What's for ESMA very important is to work together through the whole supply chain actually. That's why we look top to bottom and bottom up actually to get involved with the printers, but also listen to the printers to see where we can help them do some education and so on. Today, it's less about pure technology, it's more about understanding new business opportunities, models, and this I will hope to present to you in the following slides. Robin developed for ESMA the Knowledge Hub, how we bring together. Maybe Robin, you want to So I continue on it. The Knowledge Hub is actually our platform where we collect all our information. It comes from our experts, from the products from our members, events that we organize, ideas that we bring externally from members, from ourselves, and finally, very important, we look at the critical mass from certain markets. Without a critical mass, it's no use to start exploring new areas. This brings then new business opportunities for members and non-members participating in events, but also we look at what's the best practice to get out of it. This is an overview, we call it Connecting the Dots of the Industry. You can see that ESMA is actually in a whole range of different areas, from glass to inkjet, industrial inkjet, direct container printing or direct to shape for plastic and metal packaging, advanced functional and industrial printing, and even interior decoration. Some are more related to digital, some are more related to screen, but for us, all the technologies are equal. It's to push the niche markets forward. Very important when we start talking about industrial printing is to know what is it. You hear so many definitions. It's printing at high speed with expensive equipment, high volumes, doing very special things on ceramic tiles and so on. But actually, we have seen many definitions, and none of the definitions for us was really something we would say that's really pinpointing it out, and that's also covering the broad scope of industrial. So we looked to the previous definitions, and we came up with an own definition, which is here written. It's not a discrete market, but a group of markets where printing is used often as a part of a process, manufacturing process, or as a functional part of the end product, and is usually not the main function of the product or is a specialty within a market. What does it mean? It means that we are not really talking about printing final products, but very often about a sub-product. You can see a speed indicator for a car, plastic cards, decoration on bottles, membrane switches, and we can go on and on and on. It means that it's not always a final product that you print. It's sometimes you're a sub-supplier in an industry with print technology. So going a little bit further, you see here, I mentioned a few, but it's even much more. It's almost a whole library of possibilities, and it's growing every day because printing is becoming much more a process step in manufacturing. If you look a little bit from the side of screen printing, today we can say that, of course, screen printing is less active in the area of pure graphical printing, but it took all its experience and pushed it towards industrial application. It's using still this knowledge, but it's switching to different substrate, away from vinyls, papers, but going more to plastics, glass, electronics, functional items, and so on. So the possibilities are quite broad. Also, you have to see it's more and more about deposition of material onto a substrate. That's why you're going to see examples of conductive printing and so on. And it's very often also to overcome expensive production technologies. In the electronics, which I will show you later, it's pure about replacing the expensive vacuum deposition, plasma torches, and so on. With printing, you can make easily disposable electronics, for example. And you can scale it up and down, make it small and large without changing actually your equipment. Oh, sorry, here we go. I think I need some help for the video. Yeah. To give you an idea actually how far you go, if we didn't have screen printing, we wouldn't have the nice footballs made like the Brazuca for the last World Cup. It would have looked dull. You see here they do the screen printing. It was very abrasive resistant, nice colors. It was definitely a technology used to even make simple things like a football, and there was no other technology really available to do something like this. And what would be life without a World Cup? And you can see even how complex it is, and the printing is only one small part of the whole process, but in the end you get this interesting football, right? As I said, it's for screen printing. We have found that screen printing is typically becoming more and more in expertise in durable environments, where everything is extensively under environmental conditions, but also where the position of special materials is necessary. I can tell you recently a new 3D printer has been developed by Fraunhofer here in Germany to do 3D printing with screen print technology, actually for metal objects with sintering technology. Going a little bit further, for me it's always amazed how little people know how the surrounding world is involved in industrial printing to them, from automotive to home appliances to solar panels for functional printing, even direct printing on labels and tableware, on your laptops, touchscreen, tablets, even smartphones you will see. So it's everywhere. If you look a little bit deeper, like in a car, it's amazing how many parts, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there are much more parts which are already replaced with printing technology. Of course, this is so far away from the traditional graphics printing, but some parts are still like for decorative use inside the car, but also others are like electronics. You don't think about it, that it's coming out of a printer. So to give you an idea how far they go. Also in a home, you can see many things, from television, name branding for remotes, door panels, furniture in the kitchen. Many of these parts have been involved with printing to decorate or to get some functional items to it. This is a nice example. If you know that on each smartphone, at least a number of parts have been printed today, and it's even higher already. At the end of 2014, on an average day, 1.8 million smartphones were sold. So that means that at least all these parts were printed. It could be the mask of the front parts of the touchscreen, of the flexible parts inside. So many things that are already printed by screen printing, digital printing, and other print technologies. And of course, this is going further and further to bring down prices, to make it more flexible, bigger, cheaper, and so on. But if we look really where, on average, the biggest opportunities will be coming, we see a number of things like special packaging. This is a latest development for this fruit salad box. It contains this special label, and it will measure the ethanol exhaustion of the fruit, and it will indicate how fresh your fruit is still, without any extra bits and pieces. You can even use an app that informs you over your smartphone how far your ethanol level is of your fruit, let's say. In the middle you see a a test device for medical purposes. This is a tester, and the results can be exchanged with your smartphone, and afterwards it will help you to contact the doctor or your medical advisor what the next steps are. Where it's definitely going more and more is packaging, highlighting with phosphorescent inks or adding intelligent text to it. This is all possible for the future, and it's becoming more and more a marketing stunt to use this. Unfortunately, I didn't bring up the picture. Heineken just released a new bottle where it has a sensor inside, how fast you are drinking the bottle, where you are drinking, and so on, and it sends it all to your smartphone, and it puts you also in like on the website where you can do a competition on the Heineken drinking. So it's all for more marketing activities. Other examples of like printed electronics are lots of things in the healthcare industry, patches for women to overcome bags under the eyes. Right top hand side is a temperature logger, which is very important for blood samples to log that the temperature is not going above a certain temperature. It's also important for organs that are transported. You see flexible batteries, flexible organic solar panels, special touch systems for kitchens, OLED devices. And the last one in the bottom is a new device also based on printed electronics that warns, like if you have to lay a long time in a bed, that it protects you from wounds before it really happens. So it's an indicator of pressure on certain skin parts. And many other things, of course, like RFID and near-field communication circuits are becoming important, also wearables and so on. I think we have a video to show you how it can be done. Hello. This is a brochure from
In
the
October 2014, Audi launched the new TT, the first with a revolutionary virtual cockpit. Our task? Inspire customers with this futuristic feature. The catch? Do it using the conventional sales brochure. The Audi TT brochure hack. An augmented journey through the virtual cockpit. Simply place your phone on the brochure to begin.
So there is an interaction within the brochure and your smartphone to get the experience, what the new cockpit is.
Touching the hotspots on the page let you navigate every aspect of the display. Using conductive print, we turn the page into a smart surface, enabling haptic feedback. An embedded Bluetooth chip delivers a seamless experience between the brochure and your phone.
So to give you an idea how far it can go and build up interaction. This is another video because I think videos say more. They always say pictures say more. This is a video on a packaging. It's using old technology. Yes, you can. This was for the, I think, 350 years anniversary of Bombay Sapphire. It's using EL. Next to my stand here, there is a poster of Coca-Cola using the same technology. It's not magic, but it's EL technology is a couple of layers screen printed on top of each other. You put a voltage on it and you get light. And this is with a 6-step animation. And it was a very popular gadget to get. It had batteries in the package below and a sensor. When you lift it, it started to show the lights. again a gimmick for special packaging. Coming to the digital side, after we explored a little bit in where the trends are going, definitely the markets that we see as the most growing markets are labels, coding and marking, direct to shape, as I mentioned before, like printing on plastic bottles, on glass bottles, packaging, as you saw it already before, and then the decorative construction parts. It's a very broad market, interiors and so on, but also for automotive and so on. Textile is going to play a very important part already, and it's even moving further. Later on we will show you a few samples. And as I mentioned, printed electronics, because it's this new disposable electronics which is very cheap. I will talk a little bit about the disruptiveness on these areas, because it's always this what's going to make the difference for a lot of projects. So why is digital so important? With single pass, they came to a level where the speed, the quality, the reliability is becoming something which is really getting there to push the boundaries of production. And all these points definitely will show in the next couple of videos how they are really pushing the boundaries and are even attacking current technologies who are doing the industrial printing. But looking in twofold way, digital can either replace analog technology or traditional printing, but this is then in a way of making it more flexible, saving costs, saving setup times, but it also can go a completely different way by being disruptive. And I give two examples in disruptive. A coffee table from IKEA with a charging platform for near-field wireless charging, and a handbag for ladies with an integrated Bluetooth speaker and a battery to charge up the smartphone even. So integrating technologies from different sides can bring interesting concepts, and that's what disruptiveness can do in the market. Here I will show you definitely an area where digital is going on its own. The video shows production of 50 micron glass. You will hardly believe it, but the glass is paper thin, and it comes from a roll. And here you see the people loading the roll. And what they're going to print is actually parts for a flexible photovoltaic panel. And why is this so important? Because inkjet, aerosol jet printing and so on are the only non-contacting printing solutions to do this, because the glass is so fragile that contacting printing is of course impossible. So you see it enters the print. It looks like paper. You will see it's handled like almost like plastic, but it's more fragile, of course. And later on you will see they will print with silver paste directly on that very thin glass. Actually this transparent film is the glass. And here you see they even print copper ink on for the bus bars of a solar panel. Another example is in the corrugated world, where the printing is becoming at high speed. You will see that it prints almost every second another panel. This means also that every other second they can print a different box, a different layout. So it brings new opportunities to do new things, to to do personalized packaging and so on. And actually it's using the same technology as you see here on the show from many different machines. But of course this is single pass, high speed, and specially tuned for this application. To go a step further, we talked about interiors. Here you see an example of wood panel printing from a German company. And it's just to show you how on different areas they use always the same technology, inkjet technology, but tuned and adapted. As you see, this is with primers before to make sure that the adhesiveness of the inks are optimized. Afterwards they coat it still. But you see, this is immediately a different environment as a standard printing environment. And what comes out are wood panels. And again, each panel can be a different design. Mainly these equipment could be used in two different ways. It could be used either as replacement for traditional equipment, or it can be used to go disruptive and do special printing for special projects on demand of the customer. One more, I think, movie is on the textile side. Same thing, but here on textile, and it shows you again the use of single pass. I think this is for a kind of very lightweight textile. Again, this brings the possibility to go in replacement, but also build new possibilities for fashion, interior decoration. The technology is available, but now new business models and new opportunities have to be found to do more exclusive things with such equipment. And it's competing with the traditional rotary screen printing technology. Now, here we're from a project. This is something less industrial, but more disruptive. In an Euratex project where we are involved in, there was a development of fashion made to measure. It means perfect fit to the lady or to the woman in general. They can pick their own design. It's then produced fully digitally. But what's one of the few things they made special is within the design, hidden patterns are made that also, when they take with a special app a picture, it can be linked to one person, provide information for the manufacturer, where it's bought, by whom it's bought, and so on. But even more interesting it is, they only print those parts which are really necessary. So no longer the full width of one pattern, but they print just the pieces of the patterns they use, and the rest stays blank. So that's a couple of new ideas behind textile printing to make it more efficient, personalized, and combine it all to one thing, make it like community manufacturing and made to measure. Bring it all together, you get one unique piece for one unique person at hopefully an acceptable price. But this is already the more disruptive thinking behind textile possibilities, and it will bring new opportunities all over the world, from Europe to Asia to the US. Talking a little bit on the changes of the market, when we look, we collected in the past some numbers. Where we want to pinpoint is mainly where we see growth for certain technologies. Everyone hears that 3D printing is so the big hype and the revolution, yes, but if you look how much growth we can expect from inkjet and still from screen printing, then it's still amazing. Where do we see a lot of changes is in the global industrial, but as I mentioned before, in functional, this is mainly for, or in the conductive printing for all kinds of circuits and tags and antennas. But if you look for certain markets like electronics, biomedical, healthcare, and so on, growth expectations up to 15, up to 30 times in the next 10 years actually. These are only numbers and expectations, but it's very important to see what I mentioned before from samples. Healthcare is becoming so important for people. They want to do their own testing, they want to have devices, disposable devices, more and more. And that's why the combination of electronics and biomedical testing is such a growing and explosive area. But also look at decoration and lamination, laminate areas. It's very important. Glass will still be an important area. Ceramics, maybe less growth as in the early days, but still all these areas show that industrial printing is moving forward to a very big part of the printing industry. As I mentioned, the leading winners of the technology science are, of course, inkjet, but also still screen printing. Others will play a lesser role or an equal role, like PET, gravure, and other analog technologies. Coming to an end, actually, I wanted to point out that if you want to know more on these special markets, there is first of all the Polyot Masterclass, which is talking about and exploring the OLED technology on textile. We have an inkjet conference which looks to the latest technologies in the industrial printing development. Pure a technology conference to learn about all the bits and pieces which are important for all the different industries using inkjet at the top level of single pass printing. Other conferences are the direct container, for example. As I mentioned, it's printing directly on plastics, yogurt cups, bottles, and so on, which is a new conference for us, but it's definitely a growing area of interest. And then the glass print, which has been a long-lasting and leading conference to look at all the different possibilities of flat and hollow glass decoration. And then for the next year, we plan the advanced functional and industrial printing. That's the whole broad range from in-mold decoration, thermoforming, up to the switches, the RFID antennas, biomedical applications, and so on. And last but not least is our interior decoration conference, where we look to the 360-degree possibilities of decorations for shops, offices, homes, and so on. So I would like to thank you for staying with me and listening to our presentation, and you still can visit us in stand A60 in the same hall. It's a couple of 10 meters away. There is also the industrial showcase, where you can see a couple of items mentioned here, like the Coca-Cola poster with EL. There is a special poster with fluorescent effects in a dark area. And so I would like to thank you all. Unfortunately, I see no lunch was served, so there must be a miscommunication from the organizers. Thank you very much.